This is my audience, which is my parents. When your grandma offers you a chocolatey, nutty macaron filled with coconut deliciousness, you expect to enjoy every second of it and be left begging for more, right? Well, in my case, I wasn't exactly planning on savoring it or even persuading my grandma to give me the rest of hers. I was actually having a terrible reaction in my immune system and began to swell up like crazy just moments after. To anyone that has a severe allergy, or even a mild one in this case, do not forget to read the nutrition labels and get the facts, especially when trying a food that's unfamiliar to you or food that you feel like you should keep your distance from. I'm here to inform you how much just one bite of a macaron changed the rest of my night and how harmful food allergies can be. Flashback to when I was just 2 years old and we had discovered that I had a critical nut allergy to all nuts except for almonds, which we found out later on. Just one small moment of contact that a walnut had with my sister's salad that my mom fed me a bite of left me in the hospital and almost breathless. After a few more accidents and mishaps with the same storyline, we became very cautious of what nuts were even in my vicinity. As a young child who couldn't read the nutrition labels, my mom always kept an eye out for anything that said contains tree nuts. But in this story, it's just 13-year-old me and my sweet yet forgetful grandma. One day she picked me up from a sports practice and told me that she went to the bakery downtown, which I'd never had before, and she got me chocolate macarons. I was a bit skeptical at first to have it because I had never gone there and I didn't know how the manufacturing worked. And I knew that in my grandma's old age she had forgotten about my allergy, but I went in anyways and assumed that the only components were chocolate and coconut, but I was missing one of them, which was cashews. But by the time I had already taken a bite and we had left the parking lot, my throat began to close up and my eyes became itchy and I had hives all over my body that I couldn't stop scratching. I was aware of everything that was going on with my body, but my first thought that I had was to suggest we would go out to dinner, which was Raising Cane's, because our original plan was to go get food. I couldn't eat and I started to panic, and I asked my grandma if she thought that the macarons had nuts. I say as I look at her like I'm in need of all the EpiPens and allergy shots in the world. We called my mom and drove to the hospital, and while we were driving, I scavenged the middle of her console of her car to find the box, and I saw on the ingredients list that it contained cashews, which was the missing piece to the story. The hospital was all blurred to me, and I don't remember much, but if I did remember anything, that's probably a whole nother story. But I do remember a lot of apologies to my grandma, and even maybe a $20 bill, which is always the answer to her problems. So after all of that unfolded, what was the lesson that I walked away with? Be aware of what you can and cannot eat, and once you identify those things that are unsafe for you to consume, make sure every time you eat something that's packaged to check the ingredients list and stay away from those things. Because the amount of times I wanted to try Nutella or Reese's, I just knew I couldn't because the taste will never be worth the reaction. In the end, one bite reminded me to be cautious, slow down, and never get too excited without thinking of what consequences those might have. That bit of an unknown treat was a wake-up call for me. My story was shared to help others understand how small foods can make a big aftermath. Next time you're sharing food with a loved one, make sure you're aware of any allergies that they may have. I double check the dessert menus at restaurants and shops because I'd rather have the nut-free option than have to relive any of those experiences.